Parkside Cabin Rentals, affordable rustic luxury in the Smokies. Chalets and log cabins, from intimate to grand. In town or in total seclusion, we can fit any need you have. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports. Let's talk Tennessee football. This is the Sports Source Kickoff, presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Now, your host, John Pennington.
Good Saturday morning. I had to remind myself it's not Sunday morning like our normal thing. Good Saturday morning. Welcome into the Sports Source Kickoff for another season, year 3 over here on Fox 43. We appreciate them for having us, for hosting us. We're going to be talking about Tennessee, West Virginia for the next 30 minutes. We'll give you predictions. We'll talk about some of the key elements, key matchups to watch. It should be a fun one. Of course, today's show brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. They're all over the show because they do a great job. You see the website right there. Folks, if you're looking for a Smokies getaway in the Gatlinburg area, do it yourself by renting one of those dozens of Parkside cabins that they have available. Hot tubs, fireplaces, pool tables, grills, cabins of all sizes to fit your need, whether you want a cozy cabin or a great big cabin for a family reunion or some sort of corporate get-together. They've got it all. Parkside Cabin Rentals. We'll be telling you about them all year long. We want to welcome in the panelists here on day number 1, game number 1. Josh Ward and Jimmy Himes, both with us from WNML, Sports Animal. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And right down there, VFL, Bobby Scott back with us. Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
Good to have you. Let's just start by talking about what we don't know, and that's pretty much everything. This is one of the most mysterious vol teams we've ever covered in the Sports Source era, certainly. Jeremy Pruitt, closed mouth, doesn't tell you a lot. We still don't know how much of what he tells us is true. Some of these guys also, throw some false information at you, so we'll find out today how much is just smokescreen that he throws out there. Team was so bad last year, you have to wonder, okay, how many of these guys were coached down? Can you coach them up in one off season? So many newcomers across the board, you don't know how they're going to do. So all that said, what do you expect? Is there anything you can expect going into today's game at 3:30?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we expect is to try to check off some of the ifs. There are a lot of ifs during the offseason. If Tennessee is able to get something out of a guy like Jonathan Kongbo on the defensive side, Drew Richmond along the offensive line, if on the offensive line they can be more physical. The first thing I would say I expect on the field is for Tennessee to try to be more physical today against West Virginia along the lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Now, if Tennessee can't do that, I think it's going to be a long day for the Vols. But I think they're trying to establish a different mentality up front on offense and defense to try to maybe make up a difference that might be there at quarterback on offense with all that West Virginia has to offer.
I think that you're going to see a team play with more effort. I think the message came across from Jeremy Pruitt after the spring game when he said, I saw some players that flat out quit. I haven't heard any of that so far in the August drill. So I think you'll see a team that'll play harder. I think you'll see a team that's probably a little bit better coached on defense. And having said that, when you put in a new defensive scheme, there's a pretty good chance you might have a bust here or there. But I just think that this staff is probably better equipped to coach defense than the previous staff. So I think you'll see a team that's better coached on defense.
I think you make a great point, too, with the effort, because the last 2 months of the 2017 season, they look like a team that was going through the motions. Plus, and this is another difference, last year there was also a team that had been decimated by injury for the second straight year. They are going into this game today relatively healthy. Well, not relatively. They're going into it healthy, which we haven't been able to say that about a Tennessee team in about 3 years.
According to Jeremy Pruitt,
we
fully
think
healthy.
they're going into healthy. Yeah,
So, exactly. We think they are. But that would be a major step forward for this program, being that they had more injuries than any other team in the country each of the last 2 seasons, which is, I don't know that you could do that if you tried to do it. Bobby Scott, we talked about expectations. You can give us an expectation or a want that you want to see out of this. I'll let you go either way.
Well, the thing that that I think that is really important is we've got a real coach. We've got a coach that is out there on the field, every day. He's coaching. He's not walking around with a microphone. He's not, he's really a good coach. I was out there one day, was talking with Coach Fulmer and Eric Ainge, and they took a break, and Coach Pruitt came over there. He said, "Hey, I'm glad to see y'all out here. I want you to come back again." And I never heard that from Dooley. I never heard it from Kiffin, and I never heard it from Butch.
Jones started that way. Now, he did it early, and then he kind of threw the walls back up as everything closed in.
He had the doors locked, so you couldn't get in.
Well, we'll see if that makes a difference. I think there's going to be a massive overreaction regardless of the outcome today. I think if they lose, you're going to have people saying, "Well, I knew we weren't going to get any better." And if you have a win, I think you can go ahead and fit Jeremy Pruitt for some sort of crown, because people will be ready to say this is the greatest coach ever. I think there's a danger in overreacting to whatever we see today. I think that with so many youthful guys on this team, I think there's a good chance that the players we're seeing on the field at the 1st of October and the 1st of November are going to be very much different than what we see tomorrow. Just a guess on my part, but you'll be getting some guys ready later in the year, I think, that maybe some of these newcomers aren't going to be ready right off the bat.
Well, to your point of overreaction either way, Tennessee could lose to West Virginia today and then in 3 weeks beat Florida.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Tennessee could get a big win. Everybody's excited after beating West Virginia and then turn around and lose to Florida. I mean, a few years ago, we saw Tennessee beat Florida and Georgia and lose to South Carolina and Vanderbilt. So one doesn't necessarily lead to the other. It's about the long game for Jeremy Pruitt. But today is a really good test to see where Tennessee is to start out.
Yeah, I mean, you not only get first game with a new coach, but for the first time in a while, you're the underdog against a pretty good program. Typically they've opened with a lesser foe, or like Georgia Tech last year, you were the favorite going in. It's been a while since you faced this kind of test in week one when we don't know anything about the team. So I think that West Virginia opener is going to be tough on the team, but I think from media and certainly from fans, it's kind of exciting today to know that you're going to have something unveiled that we don't know what it is.
It adds to the build-up, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the element of the unknown is what brings a lot of the excitement, because you're not really sure what you're going to get with you think you might know what the schemes might be on offense. You think Tennessee's going to try to be more physical and run a pro set. That's what we feel like they're going to do.
That's what they've hinted at.
That's what, there could be some wrinkles along the way. So that's what excites me about it. And there's also going to be a chess match. I'm sure Tennessee's going to throw some things at West Virginia early that West Virginia's not looking for. So West Virginia's going to counter, then Tennessee's going to counter. I think that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and it also, when you look at, we don't know what the rotation is going to be on the defensive line. We don't know exactly. We know that Callaway and Jennings are going to get extensive play, but what's the rotation at receiver? We have no clue who's going to be the first running back out there. So there are all these areas of the field. We're not completely sure about the cornerback position. Who's going to start and how long do they play? How much your rotation back there? Just a lot of unknowns about this football team. I can't ever remember going into an opener like this one. When we come back, we will talk about 3 specific matchups. We'll take kind of a Vegas-style look at this as we get into 3 specific matchups that you can watch for today. Help us break down the game. We'll do that next with another member of our panel, Tyler Wyatt, professional handicapper. Joins us next here on the Sports Source Kickoff.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
The Lodge at Five Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodge@fiveoaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Since 1971, Southeast Termite and Pest Control has offered free inspections, multiple pest control options, and guaranteed termite prevention and correction. Times have changed. Our service hasn't. Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hodson Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat injured people fairly. Is your case worth more than the insurance company says? Call Bill Hodson Associates and find out.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge. Originally opened in 1930, this renovated, reborn mountain retreat offers cozy, well-appointed rooms, cabins, and suites, waterfront dining, our warm signature service, and plenty of outdoor sports and activities, all within our riverside, creekside, and forest setting. Experience the historic Topoco Lodge, where adventure meets sanctuary.
Parkside Cabin Rentals. Affordable, rustic luxury in the Smokies. Hot tubs, pool tables, fireplaces inside and out. Our cabins are perfect for relaxing or entertaining. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Sports Source Kickoff, this segment of our program brought to you by English Mountain Spring Water. And I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about this hidden gem that I discovered just a few weeks ago here in East Tennessee. I think we got a shot here of the bottle, if we can get a look at that. I don't know. There we go. I'll turn it to the camera. That always helps. English Mountain Spring Water, folks. That is from a pure spring up in Dandridge. It's been voted the #1 best tasting water in the world. It was named a gourmet water in a competition in France. I mean, it's fantastic. And the thing is, when I went up there and they handed it to me, I thought, okay, how is one water better than another water? And they said, taste it. You taste it, there's no aftertaste, none. We've had it on the desk here the last couple of weeks, and the guys who've had it have said the same thing. English Mountain Spring Water, available for commercial and residential use. Check out their website, EnglishMountainH2O.com, to learn more. Great stuff. Want to welcome in a new panelist this year. We've got a professional handicapper with us. Guy makes a living from people who call up and join your service and want your picks, and that is Tyler White, who's right over there at the YP board. Tyler, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. I have given you an assignment, so each week we're going to do, and by the way, up at the top of the board there it says 3forthemoney.win. That is your website. So in honor of that, we got 3 over-unders that I ask you to set that kind of talk about key matchups, key elements for us to look at during today's game. The first one says 64.8. What are we looking at?
We are looking completion percentage for Will Greer.
Okay.
Certainly a quarterback that has been accurate in his career, 64.8. After hours of crunching, we chose that. It's his career average.
Oh, okay. So career average. Josh, we'll talk about Tennessee's pass defense I mentioned earlier. You could have 2 true freshmen back there a lot of time at cornerback. You've got a little bit more experience at safety, but your corners are green. Even if you go with Buchanan to start, you're looking at 6 career starts there. So you're young, and you're going against a guy who was a top 15 passer last year. They averaged 350 yards per game. On paper, that's not the matchup you'd want.
No, it's not. And while we expect Tennessee's defense to try to throw some wrinkles to confuse Will Greer in that offense with the work that they've put in together, plus they have some transfers who are eligible, they're going to have some wrinkles for Tennessee for some young defensive backs. So I think they'll be able to get over that number.
I think they'll get over that one as well.
I do too. Will Greer's a veteran quarterback, and he's got veteran receivers. And I also think that Tennessee is not going to be too aggressive with the young corners, whether it's 2 true freshmen or Buchanan. I think they would have to play a little bit soft, right? I would think that, which I think will lead to Will Greer completing a higher percentage than 64.8.
And while we talked about you'd like to get a pass rush, you didn't have one last year. So if we were to sit here and say, oh, they'll get after him all day, well, they may throw the kitchen sink at him. But based on what we have seen of this team, that's last year, I don't think they can get to him. So I see him getting over that. Bobby, Former quarterback, you see him hitting 65%?
I don't think so. I think it'll be somewhere between
Homer.
I think it'll be 60 to 64.
All right.
0.8. I think it'll be a little bit below.
All right. Tyler, professional handicapper over there, where are you going?
I'm going to agree with Bobby. I'm going under. A lot of pressure here on Will Greer. Heisman Trophy hopeful. I think he's going to have some jitters first game. He's never lost a game in which he's completed 59% or more for Tennessee to have a chance. I do think with Jeremy Pruitt, the common denominator on defense, he's worked with defensive backs, certainly the Achilles, but I'm going to go under. I think I agree with Bobby, 60%. Somewhere around there.
All right, took one question to figure out you're a homer too. Okay, good deal. All right, what is the second over-under you set for us? 177.
We're going rushing yards for the University of Tennessee, 177. Tennessee certainly struggled, just over 110 yards for the season last year, but in 4 wins, averaged about 140. West Virginia in their losses gave up over 200 yards, 210. So we kind of split the middle there between 140 and 210. We took 177. It was just math.
All right. I'm not good at math. Jimmy, this week on Sports Talk, Will Overstreet and I joined you on Wednesday. You can catch us every Wednesday with you guys, you and John Wilkerson. You said Tennessee needed to run for 250 yards. By the end of the show, I think you cooked it up to 400 yards. But 250, here's the trick. Do you think they'll get to 177?
I do. I think they'll be committed to the run. Now, here's the kicker. If West Virginia jumps out to lead and you're forced to throw it, then that could skew that number. But I think Tennessee is going to be so committed to running the football, running the clock, possessing the football, that they will exceed 177.
I think so, too. You've heard good things about the offensive line. Now, they have been going up against a defensive line that was bad last year. But Trey Smith's back. To me, I think that you can get to 177 and maybe beyond it. 250 is a little out of reach.
Trey Smith being back is big. A lot of times when you've got a lineman like him, he can bring everybody else along, make everybody else play better. And that's what I'm looking for him to do, is make that offensive line play as a unit.
Okay, we got 2 overs, or we got 3 overs. Where are you going?
Yeah, John, I said on Sports 180 this week that Tennessee would get to 160 plus. So plus only need Tennessee to get to 17 more yards for them to hit the over. There's a Ty Chandler run in there. So I was negative on the last one for Tennessee, so I'll be positive. I agree with the other guys. I think that Tennessee will go over 177.
Okay, we think over on this one. Tyler, which way are you going?
I'm going over. I think balanced offense, 400 yards is probably a goal. It's certainly a running back group that I think may be as good as last year's, and that's saying something, but the offensive line had to be better this year because it wasn't very good last year. I think they improve, and I think Tennessee gets to around 200 yards.
Okay, and then number 3, what have you got for us?
Tennessee passing yards, 228. We grabbed that one. It was in West Virginia's losses. They gave up an average of 228 yards. There was a carousel last year at the quarterback position for Tennessee. We don't have to go into that. We have to see improvement from Jarrett Garantano today or Keller Christ. But 228 is what they gave up in losses in West Virginia. I'm going to go 228.
I think you just hit on it. Jarrett Garantano or Keller Christ. So you get question marks there. I just can't see them hitting 228 passing today. I just don't picture that happening. I'm going to go under on that one. You've just got too much ground to make up in too many areas, and that's the one. I think you got a better chance of just handing it off time after time after time and grinding it to 177. I don't know. If you get 228, you're talking big plays and some nice runs by Jawan Jennings and Marquez Callaway after the catch, I think. I'm going under on that one.
Well, it seems like something has to give with the rushing or the passing. If Tennessee can hit over on both,
yeah, you've won the game.
Tennessee's at least put itself in position to win. I'll go under, but I think it's a good number to shoot for, and I think it's best for Tennessee if it's one quarterback trying to get to that number.
Agreed.
I'm going under also. And again, I think Tennessee will be more committed to the run. I just don't know how sharp the passing game is going to be early. It may be, but we heard a lot of reports in practice about a lot of balls hitting the ground with the receivers. And I don't know how much they've corrected that, but that concerns me. I'll go under.
What do you think?
I agree with him 100%, and mainly because, they're going to be running the ball. They're going to try to control the ball offensively, give the ball on West Virginia's end of the field. and just play it kind of close to the vest. So I'm going to say under.
Okay, we're all under. Where are you going, Tyler?
I'm going to lean under. Certainly the receiving core to go over 228. I'm going to go under, though. I think it's going to be a balanced offense. I think if you get to 200 rushing, 200 passing, you would absolutely take that if you asked Jeremy Pruitt, but I think it's just going to be slightly under.
Okay, we'll come back to the next segment and get your pick for the game. You're going to give us a freebie here on the show. Folks normally can go to 3forthemoney.win to check out his services and to find out more about Tyler Wyatt. You mentioned it would be better for Tennessee if they get to 228 with one quarterback. Of the matchups we're looking at, to me, you always look at quarterback, and Garantano didn't seem to take steps forward as the season went on last year. Now, again, you had people quitting around him, I thought. You also had guys getting hurt around him. But he never looked like the lights came on. Now, maybe they come on in this opener. I just have a hard time seeing that. Bobby, as a former quarterback, how long would you go with Garantano? And we're assuming Garantano is going to be the first guy out. How long would you go with Garantano? Would you stick with him as long as possible?
As long as he's making positive plays and making the right decisions and everything of that nature, I would stay with him. If he slips up, then you got to give the other guy another his shot.
As a former quarterback, I know you don't like the rotation of quarterbacks, though.
But no, I don't.
So we talked this week on radio. Will Overstreet said give him a half. If he's struggling after half, make the call. Is that what you guys would do? Would you wait? I mean, obviously the situation of the game, how far you're falling behind, plays a role in that. But I am so much against flipping these quarterbacks back and forth. I would give him a longer leash. I would give him the longest leash possible before pulling him out.
I would too. If at the half, I feel like he understands what went wrong. If there is a concern there, I'd see if he can build on it in the third quarter. And if he doesn't, then you make a change.
But if he throws 3 interceptions on the first 3 possessions,
so
I probably
wouldn't. Your hand
if he does that,
I wouldn't box myself into a half. I just think it depends on how he plays. I don't expect that, but if he's awful, if the game seems too fast, if he's too slow with decisions, if it seems like the moment's too big, I'd take him out earlier. I wouldn't wait till half if he plays poorly.
Well, if he's throwing interceptions, I get it. I just wonder if you've got 7 points on the board at halftime and it's 21-7. Let's say it's 21-7, so it's still within striking distance. If I'm Jeremy Pruitt at halftime, 21-7, I look at making the switch. I don't know that I would make the switch before that. You would have to start to fall apart either on his part or on the defense's part before I yank him. I think you're asking for trouble if you go down the 2-quarterback road again. But we'll see what happens this afternoon, 3:30 in Charlotte. When we come back, we'll tell you what our predictions are for that game. And what we're going to end with every week on this show, Tennessee will win if. Tennessee's the underdog. Kirk Herbstreit took them to win. I don't know what he sees, but we'll see if these guys agree with him. Tennessee will win if. We'll answer that question next.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The Lodge at Five Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodge@fiveoaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge, featuring the Topoco Tavern with comfortable seating inside or riverside for lunch and dinner, expanded patio dining, private rooms for events, drinks on the observation deck, and at our multiple bars. Try the Carolina Mountain Trout, a Black Angus choice ribeye, or build your own hand-tossed pizza. Experience the Topoco Tavern at the historic Topoco Lodge.
When it comes to your home, no one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hotz & Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat people fairly. Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Are you being treated fairly? Call us and find out.
Experience you can trust.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control is locally owned, locally operated, handling thousands of commercial and residential jobs all across East Tennessee. Protect your home with a free inspection and estimate from Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment brought to you by Bill Hotz and Associates. Car accidents are serious business, folks. If you're injured in an accident by a careless driver, you need serious, proven attorneys to help you recoup the wages you might lose from time out of work, money spent on medical bills. Call the team that I would call, but I hope I never have to call them for that reason, Bill Hotz and Associates. Good people. All right. It's Vols versus West Virginia at 3:30 this afternoon over in Charlotte. I want to know what Tennessee needs to do to pull the upset. An upset, as I mentioned in the last segment, that Kirk Herbstreit thinks they will pull. I'll start us out. Tennessee will win if they're +3 on the turnover margin. I think they got to get some turnovers. You're the underdog. I think you got to get turnovers. Maybe +2 will do it. If they come out and they're hitting some of these overs, they're able to run the ball a little better than I suspect. But I think either way, if you put the ball on the ground once, you're in trouble. They're going to have to win the turnover battle, in my view, to win this football game. So that may be an obvious one, but when you're the underdog, that's the most important stat you got. So they will win if they are +3, maybe +2 in the turnover margin. Josh, Tennessee will win if?
I'm going to say if Tennessee is able to do what it wants to do on offense. I think that means running the football and running it, setting up Jarrett Garantano or whatever they're doing in the passing game. But if they get to 250 yards, I think Tennessee's in a really good position. But if it's 220 and it's set up a big pass play here or there, what Tennessee wants to do offensively can put them in a position to keep West Virginia from doing what it wants to do.
Tennessee will win
400 yards out. I can't
That's out.
This kind of plays off of that because I've been big on Tennessee having to run the football. I'm going to say if Tennessee throws 20 or fewer passes, that tells me they're running the ball effectively. It also tells me they're probably limiting possessions. That'll be a part of it. The more possessions they have, the more plays you're going to run, the more passes you likely will attempt. If they can have 20 or fewer passes in this game, I think they have run it effectively, limited possessions, that gives them a chance.
That'd be a tremendous sign. Bobby Scott, Tennessee will win if.
If they can run for over 177 yards, I think they'll have a great chance of winning the ball. It means they're controlling the ball, and I think it'll give them a good chance to win.
All right. Tyler Wyatt, people normally pay you for your predictions. I've asked you to give us a freebie here. It's day of. So tell us the line and tell us which way you would put the money.
Tennessee's bounced between 9 and 10 most of the week. It opened at 7.5, 8 back 3-4 months ago, early lines by most sports books. But right now we'll call it 9.5. All the sharp money is on Tennessee. I spoke with Jimmy Vaccaro and Dave Mason. Jimmy Vaccaro at the West Gate in Vegas. You've got Dave Mason, one of the largest offshore books in the world. All of their sharp money on the Vols plus that 9.5 or +10. The public is heavy on the Mountaineers, but the sharp money is on the Vols. And I'm going to say we are sharp money. So we're going to take Tennessee plus that 9.5. I do think it's a one possession game late, and I think Tennessee covers.
Okay, he takes Tennessee to cover. Guys, anybody else take Tennessee to cover in this one? I'm looking straight at Bobby.
I mean, I would have. If I was going to bet, especially when it was 10 points, I would have.
But right now, mythical dollars.
Mythical dollars?
Yeah, the huge dollars I'm giving you to do the show.
I bet about $2 million.
All right, I would go West Virginia even with the line. I'm taking West Virginia. That'd be a heck of a. It doesn't mean they can't win. Tennessee can't win, but that'd be a heck of a recovery to go from 4-8 last year to win your opener against a Heisman candidate and a pretty good offense. So I would take West Virginia.
I'm going to take West Virginia to win, but I'm going to take Tennessee to cover. I'll bet $2 million of Bobby's money.
All right, quick, Jimmy, yay or nay?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay. Thanks to these guys. We'll see you tomorrow on WATE at 11 a.m. for the Sports Source. See you then. Thanks for watching. See you back here next week, next Saturday.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.